Dear learners, welcome to the online course on electricity and safety measures. I am Dr. Rakhi Sharma from School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Learners, in today's session, we are going to discuss about the Indian electricity rules. It is also called IE rules and safety. We use electricity every day, but most of us do not know about how it actually works. This is a lack of awareness. Sometimes this leads to serious accidents. Have we not heard about instantaneous death due to the electrical shocks, lifelong disability due to the severe burns, or devastating fires turning precious to ashes? So these could be prevented with the knowledge of electricity rules, regulations, and safety precautions. Therefore, it is absolutely essential that you should know what precautions to take while using electricity. More, so if you are in the electricity industry, you should know all these rules. Danger arising from generation, transmission, distribution, or use of electricity supplied as well as in the installation, maintenance, or use of electric line or electric apparatus are many. There are many dangers. So you should know the safety procedures involved in eliminating or reducing the risk of personal injury and damage to the property. Therefore, in this module of the course Electricity and Safety Measures, in this session series, you will study about the electricity rules, electrical safety procedures, and earthing practices. Learners, in our next module sessions, we will learn about the accident prevention and firefighting techniques. We should also describe the first aid techniques and discuss how to manage a particular situation after an accident has occurred. So, learners, you must be familiar with the saying that electricity is a good servant but a bad master. So, the main learning objectives of this session is, after the discussion on this module, you should be able to briefly discuss about the Indian electricity rules that in essence spell out the requirements of working in electrical installations. Learners, electricity rules in India were first made by Central Electricity Board in exercise of powers conferred under Indian Electricity Act 1910. These rules have been retained in Electricity Act 2003. So this Electricity Act 2003 is an act of Parliament of India enacted to transform the power sector in India. This act covers major issues involving generation, distribution, transmission, and trading in power. So here in this electricity rules, there are 143 IE rules in all, and we discuss the relevant one in brief. So we first state the definition of different gradients of voltages as given in these rules. So what are these voltage limits or the gradients? So if you take the voltage, low voltage, LV, and these gradients for the LV, low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, and extra high voltage. When we define the low voltage, that means the voltage which is not exceeding 250 volt. And if we define medium voltage means the voltage which is not exceeding 650 volt. That means between the 250 to 650 volt. And high voltage which is not exceeding 33 kV. That means between the 650 volt to 33 kilovolt, all are high voltages. Then extra high voltage is the voltage above 33 kilovolt. the voltage exceeding 33 kilovolt. Now let us see what are these rules. So do you know that rule number 1 and 2 of Indian electricity rules, now these first two rules give the title and definition of IE rules. Rule number 3 pertains to authorization of person engaged in generation, transformation, transmission, conversion, distribution or use of energy. As per rule 3(2)(a), no person should be authorized to operate or undertake maintenance of any part or whole of a generating station of capacity 100 megawatt and above, together with the associated substation and other substations of 132 kV and above, unless she or he is adequately qualified and has successfully undergone the type of training specified in the Indian Electricity Rules 1956. According to these rules, all work on major electrical installation should be carried out under the permit to work system, which provides inbuilt safety to the workforce engaged in electrical work. So what is this permit to work system? We have already discussed this in detail in one session. Now I am just briefing it. As per this system, this permit to work system, the permit to work has to be issued from the power system control, which is also called PSC, to the person authorized to carry out a given work. All work has to be carried out under the personal supervision of an authorized person. If more than one department is working on the same apparatus, a permit to work should be issued to authorized person in charge of each work. This system ensures that the portion of the installation where the work is to be carried out is rendered dead and safe for working. Such work should only be carried out with proper equipment provided for the purpose and after taking necessary precautions as per the rule or safe operating procedures by specially trained and experienced person who are aware of danger that exists when working on or near live mains or apparatus. Now rule number 4 to 10, IE rule 4 to 10. The qualifications and powers of inspectors and his or her assistants are mentioned in these rules, rule number 4 to 10. Rule number 11 to 28. These rules 11 to 28 spell out the procedure for applying and obtaining licenses. Now let us familiar with the rule number 29 to 46. These rule number 29 to 46 pertain to the general safety requirements, and we state in brief the important ones. All supply lines and apparatus should be constructed, installed, worked and maintained in such a manner as to ensure the safety of personnel and property. Identification of earth and earth neutral conductors and position of switches and cutouts is must. In the double pole switches on the neutral conductor, link should be provided instead of a fuse carrier. Earth terminal must be provided on consumers' premises. Earth pits should be constructed and maintained strictly as per the relevant standards. The earth resistance of the earth electrodes should not exceed 5 ohms. Danger boards as per IS 2551 should be affixed permanently in a conspicuous position on every motor, generator, transformer and other electrical equipment. So there should be a danger board in any language. instructions of restoration of persons suffering from electric shock should be written in English or Hindi or local language of a district and be affixed by the owner in a conspicuous place in every generating station, enclosed switched station, etc. If any accident involving a human being or an animal occurs, a telegraphic report within 24 hours of the knowledge of the occurrence of the fatal accident and written report in the form set out within 48 hours of fatal and other accidents should be sent to the electrical inspector. Where practicable, a telephonic message should be given to the inspector immediately. Periodic inspection and testing of consumers installation must be done at intervals not exceeding 5 years, either by an inspector or any officer appointed to assist the inspector or by the supplier as directed by the central government. Now, these rule numbers 47 to 59. So these rule number 47 to 59 pertain to general conditions relating to electrical supply and use of energy. So learners, as per these rules, electrical installation work of a consumer should be carried out by a licensed contractor, or insulation resistance should be above the prescribed limit. It's a very important part, insulation resistance for the safety, and it should be above the prescribed limit. The supplier should not permit the voltage to vary from the declared voltage as per the stipulations given. What are these? Supplier should not permit the voltage to vary from the declared voltage. So there are various cases. In case of the low or medium voltage not exceeding 250 volt or medium voltage not exceeding 650 volt. So this should not be permitted more than 6%. It should not vary more than 6%. That means more than 6% means from declared voltage, say limit is 250 volt. So that means plus 15, that means 265, or lower side minus 15. This is only permitted. This variation is permitted as per these rules. Then in case of high voltage, by more than 6% on the higher side and more than 9% on the lower side. So high voltage means not exceeding 33 kV. So in the case of this high voltage, what we are saying, that means the higher side only allow is 6%. This is the limit. It should not vary more than this. And the lower side, that means the minus side, this should not be more than 9%. Now in case of extra high voltage means the voltage exceeding 33 kV. The more than 10% on the higher side and by more than 12.5% on lower side. That means it should not vary more than 10% on higher side, and it should not vary more than 12.5%. That means minus 12.5% on lower side. For example, suppose extra high voltage 132 kV. Supplier should not permit the voltage to vary from the declared voltage. That is by more than 10% on the higher side. That means only the plus 10% is allowed. It should be less than this and more than 12.5% on the lower side. That means it can decrease only within this 12.5%. So the 10% of 132 kV is 13.2 kV. That means only 13.2% variation on the higher side is permissible. But it should be kept less than this, within the range which is prescribed by the rules for the safe operations. Moreover, a supplier should not permit the frequency of AC supply to vary from the declared frequency by more than 3%. So only the possibility is up to 3% as per rule. That means in case of suppose 50 Hertz, the permitted variation is 1.5 Hertz. That means the 48.5 Hertz, if we say that in the lower side. Similarly, in the it can be in the higher side. So the variation should not be more than 3% in case of frequency. There are rules pertaining to electrical supply lines, systems and apparatus for low and medium voltages, high and extra high voltages, and additional provisions of supply to high voltage luminous tube signs installation, high voltage electrode boilers, X-ray and high frequency installations. The supply of energy should not be commenced by the supplier unless and until the inspector is satisfied and the written approval of the inspector has been obtained. Learners, now I am going to summarize this session. In this module, we have briefly acquainted you about the Indian electricity rules that in essence spell out the requirements of working in electrical installations. As per Rule 2A, no person should be authorized to operate or undertake maintenance of any part or whole of the generating station of capacity 100 megawatt and above, together with the associated substation and the other substations of 132 kV and above, unless he or she adequately qualified and successfully undergone the type of training specified in the Indian Electricity Rules 1956. According to these rules, all work on major electrical installation should be carried out under the permit to work system. These rules cover various aspects such as the qualifications and powers of inspectors and their assistants, the procedure for applying and obtaining licenses, the general safety precautions, the general conditions relating to supply and use of energy. So some electricity rules will be discussed in the next session. So we have discussed some rules and some other rules will be discussed in the next session on part 2 of electricity rules and safety. Till then, happy learning.